The Shweet Redemption. Part 2. Echoes of the Vow. The desert didn't speak, but it remembered. Shweet had left the bleeding waste behind, his steps lighter, but his soul no less burdened. He had destroyed the crown of silence, laid to rest the ghost of Lysael, and reclaimed a sliver of the man he used to be. Yet something followed. Not a shadow, not a voice. Something older. It stirred in his dreams. A presence, familiar and wrong, speaking in riddles and rhyme. Sometimes it took Lysael's shape. Other times it wore his own face. And always it whispered the same thing. You buried the crown, but not the vow. He traveled north now, crossing the silver dunes into the forested lowlands of Merwin, hoping to outrun the dreams. But the further he walked, the more the waking world began to blur. He would pass strangers on the road, who greeted him by name. He'd smell campfires with the same spice Lysael used to cook with. And one morning, as he awoke beneath an old cedar, he found a mark carved into the trunk above him, a symbol from his old party, the crest of the Ashen Vow, freshly etched. He hadn't made it. Someone or something was calling him back. It wasn't until he reached the city of Dothrin that he heard the name he feared. He'd stopped at a half-broken amphitheater on the city's edge, watching a young bard struggle through a ballad. The crowd jeered and tossed pebbles. One even tried to spit on him. Shweet winced as the lad stumbled over a rhyme. Afterward, Shweet offered the boy water and advice. You don't have to imitate heroes, he said softly. Sing something that hurts. People feel truth even if they don't like it. The boy gave a sheepish smile. Like you? Shweet blinked. What do you mean? The boy dug into his satchel and pulled out a crumpled parchment. It was an adventurer's contract, stained with ink and wine. He read aloud, a call to all blades, spellcasters, and truth-seekers. A bounty placed on the secrets of the fallen vow. Those who seek to unravel the pact must enter the veiled hollows, where the ghosts of betrayal gather still. Led by the traitor reborn, Shweet, now named Warden of the Forgotten Oath. Shweet's blood turned cold. He snatched the parchment and read it again, this time seeing the sigil stamped at the bottom, the Seal of Hollowgate, a secretive faction of archivists and truth hunters. Dangerous, fanatical. Someone had taken his name, his legend, and twisted it again. Or worse, something was impersonating him. He followed rumors across marshes and broken roads for 4 days before he reached the Veiled Hollows. The land itself had soured, trees leaning at odd angles, their bark blackened with rot. Mist clung to the ground like a second skin, curling around boots and ankles like it wanted to pull him under. At the entrance to a sunken glade, 2 adventurers were already dead. Their bodies were splayed beside a rusted longsword and a broken harp. Shweet crouched beside them. The harp was unmistakable. His design, silver inlay shaped like a crescent moon. But he hadn't made this. The strings were wrong, strung too tight, tuned to dissonant intervals. The kind of sound that warped magic, bent minds. A cursed copy. He rose slowly, drawing his blade. Someone was wearing his face. Deeper into the woods, he found the glade, the heart of the hollows. There, sitting on a stone throne under a shattered tree, was Shweet, or something that looked like him. Same angular features. Same silver hair tied loosely at the nape. Same violet sash he had burned long ago. But the eyes were wrong, pits of polished obsidian. And when it smiled, the teeth were too sharp. So good of you to finally arrive, the echo said. Shweet stepped forward, blade low, but ready. What are you? The thing stood, mirroring his movement like a dancer in reverse. I am the legend you left behind, it said smoothly. The Shweet that lives in broken tavern songs and bitter retellings. I am the version of you that did betray them and made peace with it. You're a lie. Aren't all bards? With a flick of its wrist, spectral echoes rose around it, phantoms shaped like his old party. Lysael, Torek, and Wen the twins. All flickering, distorted, but real enough. People wanted a villain, it said. So I gave them one, and I fed on their belief. Their rage, their need to blame you. Shweet's grip tightened. You carried guilt, the echo continued, circling. You carry the burden of honor, but not once did you forgive yourself. That's why I live. You kept me alive. Shweet said nothing. He simply began to play. The battle wasn't fought with steel. It was fought with memory. As his blade clashed against the spectral forms of his fallen friends, his voice rose above them all, each verse unraveling a different lie the world had told about him. He sang of the truth, of his failures, of the fire that still burned in spite of them. He sang not to silence the legend. He sang to reclaim it. The echo screamed. Its form twisted, unraveling like smoke and wind, arms flailing as the illusions of the Ashen Vow burned away in a crescendo of sound and sorrow. "You are nothing without me," it howled. And Shweet answered, "Then I am free." When the forest cleared, the fog lifted. Shweet stood alone again. The cursed harp lay in pieces. The throne was gone. In his chest, something had shifted. For the first time, he felt not just relief, but release, not just redemption, resolution. Back in Dothran, the boy bard found a new song spreading, one not whispered in pity or fear, a song of a man who faced himself and sang anyway, a song not of the past but becoming. And this time, when they said Shweet's name, they did so with wonder. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. Feel free to subscribe and leave a like for more content like this.